rise. We'll be led in prayer by Alderwoman Stacy Gould.
Hold on. I pulled the sheet out. Oh, here we go. Almighty God, we ask for your blessing upon the members of this council as we assemble here in this chamber to conduct the ongoing business of our city. With your guidance, we will strive to ensure that all our decisions are for the common good, and your inspiration will instill respect, compassion, and thoughtfulness in all our deliberations. Give us the strength and wisdom to lead by example as the people's representatives, and that peace and harmony will mark all our proceedings and keep us faithful to the trust placed in us by the citizens of your community. Amen.
Amen. President Pro Tem Mark Bettencourt, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I would ask for an adoption of the minutes of October 5th and 19th. Is there such a motion?
Motion.
Alderwoman Ella Miles, second. Alderwoman Stacy Gould. Is there discussion? Seeing none, please have a roll call.
Alderman DeLucia?
Yes.
Alderwoman Miles?
Yes.
Alderman Wilson?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Bettencourt?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes.
That's 6-0.
The motion passes 6-0.
Proclamation, the extra mile.
For the record, this evening, we have a proclamation to present. It's referenced as the Extra Mile Day, and we have an honoree that we would like to include in this presentation. So therefore, whereas the City of Norwich is a community which acknowledges that a special vibrancy exists within the entire community when its individual citizens collectively go the extra mile in personal effort, volunteerism, and service. And whereas Norwich is a community which encourages citizens to maximize their personal contribution to the community by giving of themselves wholeheartedly and with total effort, commitment, and conviction to their family, friends, and community. And whereas Norwich is a community which chooses to shine a light on and celebrate individuals and organizations within its community who go the extra mile in order to make a difference and lift up fellow members of their community. And whereas Norwich acknowledges the mission of Extra Mile America to create 550-plus Extra Mile cities in America and is proud to support Extra Mile Day on November 1st, 2020. Whereas John Paul Marine had served on the Norwich City Council for a total of 12 years and leading the charge to build Ockham Park, served as chairman of the Harbor Management Commission, also served on Supportive Housing, Public Safety Committee, Public Parking Commission, Mohegan Park Improvements and Development Committee, Inland Wetland Watercourses and Conservation Commission, Downtown Coordinating Committee, the Gulf Coast Authority, which helped establish the Rock the Docks Downtown Music Concert Series, the past president of the Rose Arts Festival, and serves on the Greater Norwich Chamber of Commerce, and served as Grand Marshal for the St. Patrick's Parade in 2017. Now therefore, I, Mayor Peter Albert Nystrom, and Norwich City Council President Pro Tem Mark Bettencourt, on behalf of the Norwich City Council and the citizens of the City of Norwich, hereby proclaim November 2nd, 2020 to be Extra Mile Day, and on behalf of the City of Norwich, to hereby thank John Paul Marine for going the extra mile, dated the second day in November, signed by myself and our Pro Tem. Thank you so much. That's right.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, City Councilman. I really appreciate this. It's been a privilege for me to be able to serve my community. I'm quite humbled by this, but again, I'd like to thank you all very much, and God bless.
Please.
Petitions and communication. Number 1, report from the Commission on the City Plan of Norwich pursuant to Section 8-24 of the Connecticut Statutes, Chapter 15, Section 4 of the Norwich Charter regarding the discontinuation of a portion of High Street.
Thank you. Can I receive a motion, please, to accept this communication? Alderwoman Ella Miles, second, Alderman Darrell Wilson. Is there discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Alderman DeLucia?
Yes.
Alderman Wilson?
Yes.
Alderman Miles?
Yes.
Alderman Gould?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Bencourt?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes.
Vote is 6-0.
Motion passes 6-0. Thank you.
Number 2, explanation from the comptroller of the proposed ordinance amending the Volunteer Firefighters Relief Fund Plan.
Again, motion, please, to accept this communication. Alderwoman Stacy Gould, is there a second? Alderwoman Ella Miles. Is there discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Alderman DeLucia?
Yes.
Alderwoman Miles?
Yes.
Alderman Wilson?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Bencourt?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes.
That's 6-0.
Motion passes 6-0.
City Manager's report.
Thank you. This is the city manager's report for November 2nd, 2020. I want to just deviate for one moment to give the council an update on the governor's announcement today. You might be aware, you might not be, because it happened later in the day, that the governor declared a revision of level 3 to back to level, what the governor's calling 2.1 statewide, which would mean that all cities and towns in the state would go from level 3 to level 2, and level 2 would be somewhat modified. This occurred because of increasing amounts of coronavirus cases in Connecticut. For an example, since Friday, and they do this cumulatively, so it includes Saturday and Sunday, there were 2,651 new cases since Friday, which is an extraordinarily large amount since they were averaging maybe 400 or 500 before that, and obviously during the late summer, 100 or 200 per day. In addition, there were 11 deaths over the weekend and 11 new hospitalizations. So the state now has about 340 hospitalized in the various medical centers around the state. So the governor has called this 2.1. 2.1, the major changes would be restaurants would be reduced to 50% capacity with a maximum of 8 people limited to a table. Restaurants and entertainment venues, examples, bowling alleys, movie theaters, arcades, would be required to close by 9:30, with the exception of food takeout and delivery services, which would be allowed to continue after 9:30. So that's a change. That's an addition to what was in 2 before. Venues would be limited to 25 people indoor and 50 people outdoor. Personal services such as hair salons, barbershops will remain at 75% capacity. Performing art venues and movie theaters will have a capacity of 100 people, and religious gatherings will be limited to 50% of capacity or 100 people maximum. So this has lowered the threshold for most of those gatherings. There will be an official proclamation on this in the next 2 days. This would not be enacted till later on in the week, I believe, till Friday. So there'll be time for restaurants to make the necessary changes to their interiors to conform with reverting back to 2.1, so to speak. So I'll take any questions you might have on that before I go into my regular report. Okay,
Questions, anyone?
now I'll proceed to my regular report.
Please, John.
For November 2nd, 2020. Meetings attended via conference or video were Governor Lamont updates, state representatives and legislators, Southeast Council of Governments, Southeast Transit Connecticut, Conference of Municipalities, NPU City Coordination Meetings, Connecticut Conference of Municipalities, NCDC Board Meeting, Restaurant Reopening Committee, and COVID-19 updates and city department meetings. Due to the COVID-19 upsurge, we will, in Norwich and the surrounding towns, several pop-up testing locations have been held in the city and other environs. A link to the Uncas Health District and CCOG for testing locations is located on the city's homepage under News. Flyers received for pop-up testing are also posted on the city's Facebook page. For example, a pop-up site was held at the Rose City Senior Center on Thursday, October 29th, with 62 tests administered. McGrath Consulting Group, Inc., the consulting firm which is performing the analysis of the city's fire services, met with public safety members, council members, fire chiefs, and several staff members. The initial process went very well. An additional visit is under consideration. Norwich Human Services has completed 1,000 renters rebate applications for elderly and disabled people during this pandemic, which will bring in over $514,000 to the Norwich economy. They were also awarded $10,000 for scholarships at the Recreation Department to pay for childcare needed for the PrEP program. That's the preschool and post-school program. Public Works Director Pat McLaughlin attended a virtual Complete Streets information exchange sponsored by the Connecticut DOT and the Connecticut Technology Transfer Center, highlighting the sustainability and the safety of complete streets. Mr. McLaughlin was part of a roundtable presentation on street sharing successes, lessons learned from COVID. His presentation focused on the process we used here in Norwich to help us in restaurants surviving in these times, by providing outdoor dining with street right-of-ways, and in some cases on their own private properties. The Public Works Department has completed the roofs at the Tapville Veterans Memorial Park. The American Legion Post 104 provided a $5,000 grant to the city's Public Works Department for the project in time for the annual Veterans Day Memorial Service. Thank you to the United Way, Mashantucket Pequot Tribal Nation and Foxwoods, UCSF, St. Vincent de Paul's, Norwich Human Services, and volunteers for the food box distribution. Norwich has distributed 3,708 food boxes to residents during the month of October. And just a side comment, it will be continued in November at the same location. Thank you to the city clerk's office and volunteers for processing the thousands of absentee ballots for the upcoming election. The 6 precincts, along with the voting locations, are on the city's website and Facebook and will be open from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. on November 3rd. Please be sure to vote and practice social distancing guidelines at all times. And that completes my report for this evening.
Thank you. Are there questions of our city manager? Yes, Alderman Wilson?
So I just want to, give kudos to the city clerk's office. This has been a very long year, I think, for the office as far as the absentee situation. You've dealt with it during the primary season as well as the general election now. I will say I commend you guys for the large amount of ballots that you've had to process. I ask each and every resident that is going out to vote tomorrow to be safe, but most importantly, continue adhering to the COVID-19 guidelines of wearing a mask, social distancing, to keep not only yourself safe, but your community safe. Along the lines of Mr. Salomon talking about the reverting back to kind of the phase 2 situation. I've been very adamant about being cautious. One of the things is, and many of us saw it over the last weekend with Halloween, individuals not taking heed to the guidelines. And I think, we need to really be mindful of that, getting tested when they have these pop-up centers and different things in the city, because if we don't take care of doing the right things, we're going to be stuck in this place. So I think we need to do our part as a community. I think the mayor, the city manager, and every individual that have the weekly calls to continue to plan for the city during this COVID-19 pandemic. And, I think it's just important that people really take heed to getting tested, but most importantly, being safe to limit the spread here in the city. And I think, we're doing our best, but we need residents to kind of help us make sure they get tested and follow the rules as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Other questions or statements? I would just, John hinted about further distributions. Starting this Friday from 12 to 2, we'll be distributing frozen turkeys for families. It's going to be 3 Fridays. This will take place. Our allotment is 900 for the entire city over the 3-week distribution phase. It doesn't sound like much, but hopefully the people that truly need it will have an opportunity to secure one. Again, the hours are 12 to 2. And along the same discussion as the earlier speaker, I'm reminding everyone who rides the bus to be transported for voting tomorrow, you will be required to wear a mask. That is important. If you don't have a mask, masks will be provided. We worked on that throughout the day with the assistance of Ms. Leanne Gomes of Human Services. Thank you.
Old business resolution, number 1, relative to discontinue a portion of High Street.
This time I'd ask for someone to place this in the form of a motion, please. Alderwoman Gould, second, Alderwoman Ella Miles. Is there discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Alderman DeLucia?
Yes.
Alderwoman Miles?
Yes.
Alderman Wilson?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Benford?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes.
That's 6-0.
Motion passes 6-0.
Citizen comment on resolutions.
Thank you. I declare a citizen comment on one resolution on our agenda today. If you wish to speak to us, please dial 860-215-8140, and when prompted, enter the conference ID 403-8191 and the pound key. Once again, citizen comment is open. We have one resolution dealing with the distribution of a property in the city. The number to call is 860-215-8140, prompted by the conference ID 403-8191 and the pound key. Again, the number to dial is 860-215-8140, followed by the prompt enter conference ID 403-8191 and the pound key. Third and final request to speak to us on resolution dealing with 152 Palmer Street. Please dial 860-215-8140. When prompted, conference ID 403-8191 and the pound key. Seeing at this time that we have no callers on this resolution, I would declare citizen comment on resolutions to be closed, and thank you.
New business, relative to listing 152 Palmer Street.
May I have a motion, please, to place this before us? Alderwoman Ella Miles, second Alderwoman Gould. Is there discussion? Yes, Alderman DeLucia.
I'm just confused about one thing. This resolution is regarding to the listing of 152 Palmer Street. However, Exhibit A is talking about, I believe, the property on High Street.
That is correct.
That is correct. Yeah.
Yeah, Exhibit, Resolution 1, Exhibit A has nothing to do with Palmer Street.
Yeah.
So should that be going with the old business?
What?
Should that exhibit be going with the old business resolution?
I think it should have gone with old resolution and not this one.
Oh,
Mine's correct,
yeah, it would have been
Yeah,
opposite.
it got stapled to the wrong
so.
page, that's all.
I got to the wrong one, I do apologize.
Oh, apologies not necessary. I just want to make sure that
Right.
I have my
Mine was correct in my pack, everybody else's is wrong, I'm sorry.
So in the journal, it just that Exhibit A just gets attached to old business
Correct.
resolution
Yes.
number 1?
Correct.
Oh,
Mine has 2 pages on it.
Yep, that's
Sorry,
fine.
I
No,
apologize.
again, no need. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yep,
Thank you for helping us clarify that. Seeing there's no other discussion then, call the roll, please.
Alderman DeLucia?
Yes.
Alderwoman Miles?
Yes.
Alderman Wilson?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Bencourt?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes,
6-0.
motion passes 6-0. Thank you.
New business ordinances. Number 1, an ordinance amending section 8-74, 8-75, and 8-77 of Articles 4 of the Chapter 6 of the Code of Ordinances pertaining to the Volunteer Firefighters Relief Fund Plan of the City of Norwich.
Thank you. At this time, I would ask for a motion to waive the full reading of the text and also to refer this to public safety. And the goal is to have the public hearing for 7:30 PM scheduled for November 16th. Is there such a motion?
So
Alderman DeLucia. Is there a second? Alderman Mark Bettencourt.
May I
Please?
just say that Public Safety will return its recommendation on or before the November 16th meeting.
Yes, thank you. Roll call,
Alderman
please.
DeLucia?
Yes?
Alderwoman Wiles?
Yes.
Alderman Wilson?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Bettencourt?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes,
That's 6-0.
motion passes 6-0. Thank you.
Number 2, an ordinance amending portions of Section 3.4 floodplain floodway overlay of Chapter 3 Special District of the Norwich zoning regulations.
Thank you. At this time, I would ask for a motion to waive the full reading, and I have a list here to announce. First, housekeeping for ourselves, it needs to be referred to the Commission on the City Plan, but in addition to that, it also needs to be referred to the towns of Bosra, Montville, Sprague, Lisbon, Franklin, Preston, and also the Southeastern Connecticut Council of Governments, the DEEP/CAM, here in Eastern Connecticut. Do I have such a motion? Alderman Wilson, second by Alderwoman Gould. And this actually is looking to be back here before our first meeting on December 5th. I should have included that initially. First meeting in December, to give ample time for all the parties to respond. Yes?
Question. How long do the other parties have to respond? Is there a statutory requirement, or there's no, do we have to wait for a response? I'll ask counsel.
It varies. There is no efficiency plan. Some are 30 days, some are more than courtesy. We don't get a response back from other towns. The authorities, they just have no interest in it. So it's more when the notice goes out. So 30 days is kind of a general use term.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Further questions? If not, call the roll, please.
Alderman DeLucia?
Yes?
Alderwoman Miles?
Yes.
Alderman Wilson?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Bettencourt?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes,
That's 6-0.
motion passes 6-0. Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Alderwoman Gould. Is there a second?
Second.
Alderwoman Ella Miles. Roll call, please.
Alderman DeLucia?
Yes?
Alderwoman Miles?
Yes.
Alderman Wilson?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Bettencourt?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes,
That's 6-0.
we are adjourned. Thank you all.